Yeah.
Friends, at Virat Hindustan Sangam, we are back with our regular program, Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga, on our various social media platforms. We are resuming our program. There was a pause for 5 months, and today is episode number 276. And Dr. Subramaniam Swami, in the next half an hour, will be discussing the highlights of the year 2025 and the significance of the year gone by. And we are sorry, due to some technical hitch, we could not start our program in time, but we are back. And today we will be discussing this topic. And I thank our team and Dr. Swami for coming for this program. And we hope today onwards we will have our regular show Sunday after Sunday at 8 p.m. And with these words, we'll show a slide of a historical figure we are going to pay tributes to. It is our team will display the slide of Veera Mangai Rani Vellur Nachayar.
Right.
Veeramangi Rani Velu Nachiyar was a fearless warrior and the first queen in India to fight against British colonial power. Born in 1730 as a princess in Ramanathapuram, South India, she was a master of martial arts, archery, and languages, including English, French, and Urdu. At just 16, she married Muthuvadu Ganantha Udethevar, but after his tragic death in 1772 during the battle against the British, she courageously fled with her daughter and spent 8 years building an army in hiding. With the support of allies like Gopala Nayakar and Sultan Hyder Ali, Rani Velu Nachiyar led a daring attack in 1780 that included a self-sacrificial bombing mission by her loyal commander, Kuili, destroying the British ammunition depot. This bold victory allowed her to reclaim Shivaganga, where she ruled for the next decade, making her daughter the heir. Her legacy is celebrated even today, with a commemorative stamp released in 2008 and the unveiling of the Veeramangi Velu Nachiyar Memorial in 2014. January 3, her birth anniversary, is now a day of remembrance for her bravery. Rani Velu Nachiyar remains a lasting symbol of courage, leadership, and early Indian self-rule. Her story continues to inspire generations.
Virat Hindustan Sangam pays tribute to this brave warrior Rani Velu Nachiyar. And with these words, we are over to Dr. Subramaniam Swami to initiate today's discussion on the highlights of 2025 and the significance of the year gone by. Over to Dr. Swami.
Thank you, Jagdish. And friends, this last 1 year has been, in many ways, a historic kind of situation. Year, and we found a war with India and Pakistan, which is not so big, but we found a number of incidents which have taken place in the year, and these are principally in our view of looking at it. We think that one of the things that has been done has been the war with or shall we say, a kind of war with Pakistan and India, which was a tremendous opportunity for us to break Pakistan into four. That is, Pakistan as into four, which are in four ways, which can be easily broken because they were all anyway wanting to separate from Pakistan. But unfortunately, we lost that opportunity. And in the same way, we had the present President of the United States making many such movements, which we saw from year to year. So I would say that 2025 actually has prepared the ground for what is going to happen in 2006. I'm sure that in 2006 there will be a war which will be of very major significance. Over to you, Jagdish.
Thank you, Dr. Swami, for those opening remarks. Now we will take the discussion forward. I would request Professor Arvind Chaturvedi to have his views on this issue. Over to Arvind Chaturvedi.
Thank you, Jagdish. As Dr. Swami said, 2025 was a remarkable year, and so many things happened which affected India directly and indirectly, more directly than indirectly. The year began with a disaster in Kumbh Mela, which was organized in Uttar Pradesh, Prayagraj. Though the number of people who visited was a record number, no other Kumbh Mela had seen such a large devotees coming to the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj. But it also happened because there were a lot of stampede incidents. And also in the New Delhi station, people going to Prayagraj, many people died on New Delhi station because of a stampede. So that was the first incident. Of course, we may also say people have been saying that UP government did not reveal the correct number of people who died in the disaster. Another disaster, as we all know, is the Air India, which happened in Gujarat after the flight took off. And then only one survivor was there, but that survivor also after a few months has died, unfortunately, and there was nobody to blame. In fact, the entire the probe has not yielded anything and accused anybody guilty. So that means maybe it can be taken as natural disaster, but something which was man-made, and we could not find who was the guilty of that. And Dr. Swami mentioned about Pakistan. In fact, one of the most important event 25 saw was the Pahalgam terrorist activities. 26 people were killed, 26 innocent lives were lost, and people were killed by terrorists after confirming their religion. So it was actually a target of Hindu religion, because these people were belonging to Hindu religion, and one of them, of course, was also Muslim, who died saving people. But this led to one of the most important wars in the recent history with India and Pakistan, Operation Sindoor. And though Operation Sindoor, we had discussed, if our viewers remember, we had discussed that it was not timely action, though it was after 2.5 weeks. But still, Operation Sindoor took place, and we won. But as Dr. Swami said, ceasefire stopped our journey. We could have captured Pakistan and taught them a lesson. But somehow, and in fact, Donald Trump, Dr. Swami mentioned about Donald Trump. Let me also mention, Donald Trump made more than 30 times claims that this ceasefire was because of him. And the government of India kept on refuting that, but not in so many strong words. But anyway, the message went through the world that it was Donald Trump who intervened and led to the ceasefire. We had great achievements also. In fact, those of you who love cricket would also identify that India won the World Cup tournament. And not only the men's team, but even the women's team towards the end of the year, they won the World Cup, defeating South Africa. And that was a great achievement in cricket. And in politics, Jagdish, you would recall two major elections. One was in Delhi, where Aam Aadmi Party ruled for roughly more than 10 years. But Aam Aadmi Party was defeated lock, stock and barrel by BJP, and BJP came to power after 27 years in Delhi Assembly. Last was Sahib Singh Verma's rule and Sushma Swaraj, and after that Congress came for 15 years, and then Arvind Kejriwal for more than 10 years. So after 27 years, BJP won, and similar fate was the Bihar poll, where NDA, which was already in power, came with much thumping majority. So this goes in favor of BJP, despite of the public displeasure on so many accounts. But in both the key elections, BJP emerged victorious. As far as the United States is concerned, as we know, in the beginning of the year, Donald Trump took over, and as we had expected, that it will be all surprise moves. And the first surprise move was levying the heavy tariff on India. Of course, with other countries too, but other countries managed, and India has also survived with 50% tariff that has been imposed on India. And in our neighboring country, Bangladesh, there was a political upheaval. Sheikh Hasina was ousted, and Muhammad Yunus was given the power to govern. This was a student-led movement, and the leader of the student also was killed later on. And what has happened concerned to India is that the government and the people there have been taking anti-Hindu stand, and Hindus have been targeted one by one, and it's still going on. Even last week, 3 Hindus were targeted and killed. Innocent Hindus were killed, and India government has been protesting, but has not done anything other than the verbal protest. And if we recall, earlier Dr. Swami had also supported and advocated that in such a situation where Hindus in Bangladesh have been targeted, India government should take a hard stand and threaten Bangladesh that if we don't behave or if we don't control these crowd, then we will take military action. But India government has been shying away on this count. And internationally, of course, Ukraine-Russia war is going on, and that is we were hoping that to 2025 they will come to an understanding and agreement. But despite trying by Donald Trump, mediation has not worked, and the war is still going on. And the same thing cannot be said about Israel and Gaza, but the action has been going on the front time again. And these were the highlights, I think, in my view, of the 2025.
Thank you, Arvind, for that roundup of the year that has gone by. I would now, before I do some comments, I would request Ramesh Swami to come up with his comments.
Okay. Thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Swami. It's good to see you back after 5-month hiatus. So I would say even all the viewers will be very happy because they've all, 5 months of, obviously most of them would have just heard Godi media tom-tomming. So they need a different perspective. They might have, their ears must be bleeding right now, hearing to all the propaganda that has been spread out for the past 5 months. I think there is going to be a welcome change. And obviously when we make our comments, there are going to be some underbugs here and trying to, disrupt it. But that's fun. Thank you. We want everybody to come and have a listen. I know you don't agree with them, but you don't have an option. But what he says is true. So having said that, Dr. Swami, Arvind, you covered everything perfectly. So I just have to have one thing. I'm giving you from a U.S. perspective. So the U.S. got a new president. Day one, it has been. For the first 100 days, I would say it was a very welcome change, a dramatic change, because he really showed what leadership is all about, in the sense like shutting down the border. He said that he made that as a campaign promise, and he kept to it. And he made sure where there were 15 to 25,000 crossings a day, it's trickled down to 0. So why I'm mentioning this is there is a prime minister. Luckily, I'm in America. I can say a little bit freely, unlike people in India who can't criticize him for fear of being thrown into jail. But for Dr. Swami. But anyway, at least my president had the guts to show that whatever he promised, he did. Right. So he stopped the border for 25,000 a day to 0. He has deported millions. Like he said, he's not going to have these criminals in my country. He's deporting them. He deported them by millions. Those are all positive things. He's really making an attempt to bring some peace around the globe, trying to do something or the other, and he's been partly successful. And of course, he brought peace between India and Pakistan, like he claims 35 times. So that where he said he stopped the war, and so far nothing nobody from India really refuted what he said. And it's a very sad situation. Even though the bravery of our Jawans, if they tried to fight and they had to shut down within 24 hours or 3 days of war, and they did not finish the job that they were given. So unfortunately they were told to stop before that. After that, I wouldn't say Trump has been 100% successful. There are ups and downs, which I disagree with him on a lot of these things that he's done. But luckily I have the right to disagree with what he does. There are things that he really bungled up on, basically the economy. I think that globally the economy is really on the downside, and Trump has really bungled up the economy. Basically, what's biggest hurting thing? I think we have an election this November. We have the midterms. If this economy doesn't change, I think the Republicans in the US are going to get wiped out. And that's a very dangerous sign for America. And especially, I don't know how the international relations is going to change, but from my perspective, for what I see here, the biggest challenge is the economy, and it's not improving at any point in time. I'm pretty sure it is the same in India. I mean, Dr. Swami, you're an authority on this. You can say a few words on it after my comment is over. But in general, I think that's going to be the big significant problem in America is going to be the economy. And stock market doesn't seem to be in reality. It's in an alternate universe. As far as US is concerned, it's got its own AI fueled nonsense, which is again going to crash this year is what I feel, because a lot of the companies, because I'm in the industry, I can say that a lot of the companies are pulling back on this AI initiative. So I'm just giving you a broad spectrum of what happened in 25, which was high, and what I feel that in 26 will happen. Dr. Swami, as you know, yesterday, Trump had ordered the US troops to go into Venezuela, arrest the sitting president, and bring him back here, Dr. Swami. This is what I call Ghar mein ghus ke marna hai. Not some election speech saying that I'm warning, when Modi said that he was warning everybody, man, I'm warning a terrorist. There is no reason to warn them. You have to show in action. But Trump did not warn them. He just gave them enough indications saying that, but he just did what he said. If you have terrorists who killed so many people in Pahalgam and continuing to create atrocities left, right, and center, and unfortunately, the leadership has no guts to do what it promised to do, and also stop people and stop the army 2 days short because some other president said. Modi did not criticize Trump today, saying that how did you go into another sovereign country and do anything? He didn't have the guts to say that. Well, some countries did. But unfortunately, this is the challenge, Dr. Swami. I think in India, the challenge is going to be the leadership and zero tolerance for criticism, Dr. Swami. That is what I see sadly happening in India. There is a very, very limited tolerance for criticism. Opposition is basically defunct because they are afraid what Modi will do to them. So they are also threatened and whatnot. And media at least said the best because they're absolutely nothing. What is positive for India, Dr. Swami, is that the alternative media, like YouTube channels or something, they are trying to voice. And unfortunately, they're also going to get suppressed pretty soon, but they are raising a voice against what is happening in India. The biggest challenge, Dr. Swami, I want you to comment on this, is going to be the unemployment number in India. And Arvind, you can also jump in, because this is not the older people. This is that 35 range, 25 to 35 or 20 to 35 range. Based on the data, that seems to be the highest ever in India because of the unemployment. In modern times, I'm not talking about going back to 120 years ago or anything like that. But in the modern times, is that going to be, that is high, and is that going to be a huge problem? Because given where the economy is going, we will not be able to generate enough, private sector will not be able to generate enough jobs, Doctor. So I mean, where will this lead to, to Dr. Swami, and as far as India is concerned? These are my initial top thoughts. Jagdishji, you're next, and then we can discuss.
No, I would like to say something before Jagdish. Okay. If it's all right with Jagdish.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
See, the thing is that on the fight between India and Pakistan, arose consequent to some thugs of Pakistan coming into India, not the disputed areas of India, but into India, which was not even disputed. There they got hold of about 25 Hindus and stripped them to make sure that they were not circumcised people. And then in front of their wives, they killed one by one of them. And Mr. Modi said he will take revenge on this. But what did he do? He did absolutely nothing. Certainly our military went and bombed a few places, but that's not what we wanted. What he could have easily done is that the 4 states of Pakistan are so weakly joined together that we could have easily taken them apart, the 4 provinces of Pakistan, and separated them and declared them as independent nations. That would have had a huge impact. Instead, he crumbled before the Americans. What have the Americans got to do with the India-Pakistan war when Pakistan does this? Did the Americans blame these people for what they did in front of women? And what relief did the women get? So Mr. Modi is shown to be unfit to defend India. And I'm saying this in a blunt way because people are a little afraid nowadays to speak it openly. But I'm saying it is about time that we will say that we will break Pakistan into 4 provinces which are there. We'll make them, they all want to be separated, and the revenge for those 26 people will be made for that. This is the most important thing. And what was the need for allowing the American president to come and mediate? He's far away. How can he come and mediate for us? We are not a stooge of the Americans. We are not connected with the Americans. And afterwards, the American president felicitated the Pakistani army chief several times in public forums. But Mr. Modi got nothing. In fact, he could not even go, except that there have been recently some things that have come out about the sex and so on, and which Modi's name has also been involved. So all these things put together, Modi has left India, India to disgrace in so many other ways, and therefore this should be the focus in the coming days in our politics.
So one comment, I think Modi has a saving grace here. So what he should do is he should call Trump and mediate between Trump and Maduro. I think that will work well.
Yeah, as if Trump will care. Just get off, Mr.
Yes, Jagdish.
Thank you, Dr. Swami and Ramesh and Arvind Chaturvedi. As Arvind Chaturvedi gave a very detailed insight of all the things which happened during the year. I want to just highlight some of the things which I feel is important, and especially from the Indian point of view. Number one, BJP had a decisive victory as far as Delhi is concerned and as far as Bihar is concerned, and it is a good sign that BJP's clout is growing, and it is glowing also. But at the same time, it is very sad to notice that lot of democratic values and institutions have been devalued. The government and some of the leaders cannot withstand criticism, and they have been doing various tricks to see that the fundamental rights of the citizens are trampled. So this is a very dangerous thing. Although BJP's victory is good, BJP should be in power, but some of these power crazy leaders are going crazy or creating problems for the press, people who criticize the government, and this type of behavior is very much uncalled for. Second is, as Dr. Swami and some of you all have already said, the Pahalgam incident and the Operation Sindoor, what has it led to? The very name Operation Sindoor was to protect or take revenge for what happened at Pahalgam. But what did Modi achieve? American president from there makes a statement and we all surrender. Did he achieve for what we had gone to war with Pakistan? No. So then what have we achieved? Where have we taught Pakistan a lesson? Those 4 provinces, we could have, especially Baluchistan and Pakhtun or Northwest Frontier Province and Sindh, we could have taught them a proper lesson. What were remaining was the Pakistan, that is the Punjab state of Pakistan. As Dr. Swami has always been saying, Pakistan would have been the West Pakistan state of Pakistan, West Punjab state of Pakistan. So, but we could not.
Pakistan. Pakistan.
Yeah. Now, another very important thing is the developments and the treatment of minorities in Bangladesh. There has been a regime change, but the minorities have been constantly, Hindus have been constantly attacked, and government of India has not been effective. At least in our backyard, around surrounding countries, India, which is claiming to be a Vishwaguru, should assert itself. Tell Bangladesh that it needs to behave and protect the Hindus of Bangladesh. That we don't see in a very effective way happening. Another very important development has been the tariffs which has been imposed by Trump on our Indian exports, and which has made our exports very costly and not competitive in the American market. So this will also have a big effect on the economy. Economy is quite bad. We have come across now IMF figures which says that they have graded us to number 3 position, saying that our figures are not sacrosanct. So this also means that we, I mentioned to you, the criticism of the government, here we are forging data and documents to show that everything is quite rosy picture. So these are important things because the GDP figures have been manipulated to paint a very good picture. So I think all put together, the international scenario, the economy, the tariffs, Bangladesh Hindus, and our rising prices and unemployment is creating a big issue for India and for our citizens. So it's time the government wakes up on this. So this is my initial comments on the year gone by. And now I would, we can have further discussion. We thank Dr. Swami for rejoining our program after 5 months. Swami had undergone some medical issues and he has fully recovered and he is back in action. But we thought, let us have this program in the coming year. As you know, this is episode number 276. We paused on the 3rd of, if I recall, it was the 3rd of August. We had our last program, which was episode number 275, which was on the fresh tariffs and its implications for India. And we have resumed now. We wish Dr. Swami good health and full action for the years ahead in the service of the country. So with these words, I will now throw open the discussion. It can start with Dr. Swami. He has already highlighted the failure of Operation Sindoor because of the political decisions and not because of the military actions. Military action was well calculated, but the failure of the political leadership buying to pressures from the US president, who has been claiming, as Arvind and Ramesh said, more than 35 times that he stopped the war, he stopped the war. Whether he stopped it or did not stop it, the question is the war was stopped and we did not achieve our objective of the Operation Sindoor. We were to take revenge for those ladies for their husbands being killed in front of them, but nothing of that happened. Even the name Sindoor, what did we achieve by just saying Operation Sindoor? We should have taught them a lesson. We should have asked those fellows to be handed over to India, but those things did not happen. So it's a very important year for BJP victory, but at the same time, democracy is important. Our institutions, our individual freedoms, the freedom of the press, all these are important factors which we should be looking at and focusing on in the coming years. With this, I ask Arvind Chaturvedi to further discuss, and Dr. Swami can always intersect or give his comments in between whenever he feels like. Arvind, your mic is off.
Mic is
One
off.
very important achievement all of us missed. Jagdish, you touched marginally to that achievement or the consequences of that. That was India has become the fourth largest economy in the world towards the end of this year. In the nominal terms, they claim that 4 trillion GDP has crossed. Jagdish, you mentioned about GDP. But let me tell you, you also mentioned about the miscalculation or wrong projection. Pranav Sen has been the chief statistician of India for several years. He headed the statistics division. In fact, he had reformed the Indian statistics sort of. He retired long back. And recently he made a statement that whatever claim India is making about the GDP is false. And he had calculated, another famous economist from JNU, Professor Arun Kumar, both Pranav Sen and Arun Kumar have claimed that India's GDP is not more than 2.5 trillion, which officially they say is 4 trillion. Number one. Number two, what is the significance of 2025 where India has become the fourth largest? You see, India has a population of 1.4 billion. And this kind of population, whatever overall in nominal terms you achieve, what happens to the population? Per capita income, if we look at, we are 144 rank. 144 rank in the world. I mean, this is just almost bottom 10% actually, or bottom 20%, or not even 20%. And we are claiming, and we have been saying in our programs about this achievement, about the income and the 5 trillion economy target and all that. Though, of course, Jagdish mentioned that in 2027, IMF has mentioned that if the same rate of growth continues, we may become third largest, even beat Germany. So maybe after US, but what is the implication for our public? Are we increasing our rank in per capita income? Per capita income, we are behind 143 countries in the world. That is significance. And we all know that 82 crores people are getting free ration. So whatever claims we make about the economic development, GDP, number 3, number 4, 5 trillion, that sounds bogus, because more than 60% population is surviving on the government ration.
Yeah. Great. Well, I think
Dr. Swami would like to comment.
He has made a number of these dimensions of our growth or lack of growth. He's absolutely right. In fact, the GDP is, if you go into dealing with it in a statistical way, proper statistical way, you'll see that the GDP per capita has come down, and even as GDP, it is much lower than what they show to the public. So all these bluffing that goes on in Mr. Modi's government should have to be countered, but no one is no one in the government or the Central Statistical Organization has got the guts to come out and say, no, we don't agree with this. Whereas in America, you will find, in many other countries, you will find people, the agencies will come out openly and say, no, we don't agree with the Prime Minister's view on this, or so on and so forth. So I think we have a lot of education to do to our people, and therefore we should look forward. People should look forward to our program more and more in order to get the truth about what's happening to India.
So, Dr. Swami, one important aspect as far as India is concerned, this is a question for you. From foreign affairs, I think in India, in 2025, a lot of missed opportunities and missteps. Swami. One, completely misjudging Trump's priorities. Because for all practical purposes, US is one of the largest trading partners for India. And most of that being services industry, which depend on American economy extensively, and in the Indian economy too. The IT industry depends on the West for substantial income. And sadly, Modi seems to have, or the Modi government seems to have failed to understand what Trump's priorities are, which we saw obviously in terms of tariffs. It's still very high, and India is still negotiating. I think it is the last country ever to be left out. Even now, that is the only country that has not finished a negotiation. Either we accept or disagree. China, of course, is because China. India cannot compare itself to China because US's dependence on China is too large. We can't say, oh, China is not completed, but that's not a fair comparison. We are far more. India is far more dependent on the US for its economy. Number one, Dr. Swami. Second, I think India failed even managing its neighbors properly, be it Pakistan or Bangladesh. I think Arvind and Pahalgam is one example, and Arvind also mentioned about where we are in terms of the recent attacks in Bangladesh against Hindus. India is not able to do anything, even in a local level. Obviously, China, you time and again, Dr. Swami, you've said how China has occupied 4,000 plus square kilometers, and India is completely, the Prime Minister is in denial. He's not even come out in the truth, even in the parliament, even after so many questions. And so that, and even and for all, I don't know why they need to sour the relationship with Turkey. I think that also has happened. Overall, Dr. Swami, I think you call this person a waiter. He's definitely become a worse than a waiter now. Because this whole thing has failed, Dr. Swami. So your comments on basically the foreign level, because it's very crucial for India, where we are today, given China and Pakistan and Bangladesh, the triangle that we have. So your thoughts on foreign relations, Dr. Swami?
Right. Well, we should deal with these subjects separately, as mentioned by Ramesh, in my opinion.
Okay. Arvind, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to say one more very important point. It is political as well, also connected to sports. Shah Rukh Khan has been named traitor by BJP people because he, in an open auction, he bought one Bangladeshi cricketer for IPL team, which he had, that is KKR. But you see, ultimately, of course, BCCI instructed him to withdraw. Initially, who provided the list of the players to play? India and Pakistan, when they had tension, the BCCI decided not to allow any Pakistani player to play in India. They could have done that in November or earlier, before the auction took place in December. That Bangladesh player will also not be done. Not only that, India has done very little to protest against Bangladesh on anti-Hindu issue, and even the trade goes on. I mean, there is no action which has been taken by Indian government, either economically or politically or trade-wise or in any other dimension. But ultimately, poor Shah Rukh Khan had to be blamed, so this is an issue which BJP cannot do without any Hindu-Muslim divide. And of course, it was wrong on his part to take a Bangladesh player, but it was wrong on BCCI part to allow Bangladesh player to be auctioned in India. That is what I wanted to add.
Yeah. No, as somebody has pointed out, Wangchuk, who stood on Gandhian principles. I know it from fact because I dealt with him also. And they put him in jail and he's still in jail.
Right.
I never heard of this, A man on peaceful agitation is put in jail and he's still not been let off. What is this going on? Anyway, we got many
not
things
only him.
ahead
It's
of
not
us.
only him. Sir, anybody who speaks against the government has been targeted.
Yes.
Some action will be taken against anybody who criticizes the government without any basis. So this is suppression, oppression, emergency-like situation.
Yeah.
And sadly,
That's
Dr.
right.
Swami, even I agree it's a compulsion. I'm not saying it is a broad stroke that everybody, even the judiciary seems to have kind of playing along because for some apparent reason, Dr. Swami, it is very sad that even the judicial process is getting compromised big time because some of these cases are trivial. I mean, this can be, bail can be easily given and this can be dealt with later. But the way these kind of people like Sonam Wangchuk or others who criticize the government being threatened, thrown in jail is basically not doing well for a good democratic country like India, which had very good principles. Take criticism, take it in your face and go with it. They're not able to take that. They could take an example from you, Dr. Swami. You have faced more abuses than anybody else, as far as I know. I mean, literally, left, right, and center, the morons in IT cell have abused you the most. And you've just you just ignored them and say, because that's what they are. You treat them like sewer rats and you just let them go where they are. But unfortunately, the PM seems to have a very thin skin. And anybody who criticizes him in some form, shape, or the other, even with facts, whatever is being said, and not only facts, these are the same things that are repeated by his own partymen in the previous generation in another party. So things like this kind of it distorts the whole, the fact of saying that, okay, when I choose, I will impose everything and nothing happens to them. And it's just poor people people who want to voice an opposing opinion are kind of threatened today. They just don't want to voice an opinion. That's how it has become. So just to take a point from what Arvind said, it is said that the judiciary also has joined into the bandwagon where the people had a hope that the judiciary will be typically independent and sadly not the case.
Yeah.
I think Arvind, before Dr. Swami can comment, Arvind, be prepared for the summing up of the program. Okay, Dr. Swami, any comments from you?
No, I've said enough, and we'll have the next session now more regularly. Yeah.
Okay, Jagdish, you want to make some comments and then we can go to Arvind.
Arvind.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swami. We have been seeing this program popularity growing because of your participation, and you were leading the discussion for last 4 years. But unfortunately, for a few months, we could not get your company. And now, since you have fully recovered, we hope our viewers will also join us in large numbers beginning today. Today is the first Sunday after 5 months, like Jagdish Shetty said, that we are now joining today for this program. Every Sunday, 8 p.m., viewers will be joining. Dr. Swami will be there with you to discuss the affairs of India and the world, and economy and society, whatever issue that we face every week. And like our past, Dr. Swami will be bringing this to highlight and discussion and his opinion and solution to the problems. Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us today after a long time. Thank you, Dr. Swami. Thanks, Ramesh Swami. Thank you, Jagdish Shetty. And a kind word to our organizing team led by Ashish Shetty, Swaminathan, Tejas Navalgul, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Ajesh Nair, and Gurdat Shetty. We'll be meeting again next Sunday. अगले रविवार को 8 बजे पुनः हम दोबारा मिलेंगे डॉक्टर स्वामी के नेतृत्व में और नए विषय पर चर्चा करेंगे. जो भी विषय हमारे सामने देश के समक्ष और दुनिया के समक्ष आएगा, उस विषय पर, उस समस्या पर डॉक्टर स्वामी अपनी राय रखेंगे, अपना सलूशन देंगे, अपना हल देंगे. व्यूअर्स, बहुत बहुत नमस्कार. अगले रविवार को मिलते हैं. टिल देन, Goodbye.
Jai Hind, Jai Shri
Jai
Ram.
Hind.
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Ram.
Ram.